Have you ever stopped to think about how a huge company gets the exact same app to thousands of employees on thousands of different devices all at once? It sounds like a total nightmare, right? Well, today we're going to unpack the really elegant solution to that giant headache. It's called the published application.
So let's set the stage here, because the problem we're trying to solve is a big one. You could call it the modern app dilemma.
I mean, think about it for a second. Your team is everywhere. They're on company laptops, personal tablets, their home desktops. You've got people in the office, at a coffee shop, halfway across the globe. So how in the world do you give every single one of them secure and simple access to the critical software they need? This isn't just some logistical puzzle. For IT departments, this is the question that keeps them up at night.
And the answer? Well, it comes from a really powerful idea. What if you could just stream your applications right from the cloud? Kind of like you stream a movie. This is the whole concept behind Omnissa Horizon Cloud's published applications.
Okay, so what exactly is a published application? At its heart, it's just a normal Windows app. But, and this is a big but, instead of living on your computer's hard drive, it's hosted on these super powerful servers in the cloud. It gets delivered to your device whenever you need it, and here's the real magic. You use it exactly as if it were installed right there on your own machine.
We all get streaming, right? You don't have to download an entire 2-hour movie just to watch it. You just press play and it starts. That is the exact same idea at work here. But instead of a movie, we're talking about really complex, heavy-duty software. Think Photoshop, AutoCAD, or some specialized financial tool.
Let's peek under the hood for a sec. All the heavy lifting, all the processing, the computing, the number crunching, it's all happening remotely. The application is actually running on what are called Remote Desktop Session Host Servers, or RDS servers, usually inside a massive cloud like Microsoft Azure. Your local device, your laptop, it barely has to break a sweat.
But here's the kicker. Even though that app is running miles away in some data center, the experience for you, the user, is completely local. It just lives seamlessly right there on your screen. You click, you type, you drag and drop, and it all feels instant. So the whole point is this. We've separated the power of the application from the device you happen to be using. And that brings us to one of the most important parts of this whole thing, the user experience. Because let's be honest, if the technology isn't seamless and easy to use, people just won't use it and distort.
And this is what we mean by seamless. That published app doesn't open up in some clunky browser tab or a weird-looking remote window. No, it appears in its own native window, just like any other app. You can pin it to your taskbar, it automatically works with your local printer, your USB drives, all your stuff. You're not logging into a whole separate computer, you're just opening an app. It's that simple.
Now this is a really important distinction we need to make. A lot of people hear this and think of a full virtual desktop, but they're built for very different jobs. A full virtual desktop gives you an entire Windows environment in the cloud. It's perfect for a power user who needs that complete workspace. A published app, though, is for the task-oriented worker, the person who just needs to use one or two specific programs to get their job done. It's way lighter, it's more focused, and it uses far fewer resources.
Okay, so we've established it's great for the user. They love it. But what about the folks in IT who have to manage all this? Let's flip the coin and look at the IT side of things.
This is where the game completely changes for IT. They're freed from that endless soul-crushing cycle of installing and patching apps on every single machine. An admin can package an app just once in the cloud using a tool like App Volumes. They assign it to a user and boom, it's delivered instantly. And when a critical security update comes out, they update it one time in that central spot and every single user gets the new, secure version immediately. Just think of the hundreds of hours of manual work that just disappeared. And the strategic wins just keep stacking up. You're drastically cutting down on the complexity of managing all these unique computer setups. Your security is way stronger because the apps and the data never actually leave the secure data center. And because it's all in the cloud, the business can scale up or down whenever it needs to without buying a single new server. This is a huge leap toward a more agile, secure, and strategic IT department.
So when you put it all together, you've got this incredible user experience on one side and this radically simplified IT management on the other, you start to see something that looks a whole lot like the future of how we're all going to use software.
And that whole any device promise? It's for real. You can get to these apps through the dedicated Horizon client on pretty much any OS you can think of, Windows, Mac, even Linux. Or if you don't want to install anything at all, you could just pop open a web browser and access your apps right there. That is what true universal access looks like.
So, the big idea here, the one thing to take away from all of this, is this concept of decoupling.
We are fundamentally breaking the chain that ties an application to the physical hardware it runs on. Your software is no longer stuck to the machine that's sitting on your desk.
And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating thought to chew on. If all your most important applications, all your critical data lives securely in the cloud, just waiting to be streamed to whatever screen you have in front of you, then what does that make the device in your hand? Is it still a computer, or has it just become a window?